Give me one. Okay, now we are going to start now. So as I said before, I hope you're having a good time. So what are we going to do today? Remember that the idea of this, of the goal of these classes is to teach you some things that maybe you didn't know, or give you some like the most important topics that we have in English. Maybe I already said that maybe some of you already know these topics, so it's okay. But maybe some of the rules, I'm sure that maybe you don't know some rules of some grammar things that we are going to learn. Yeah, like for example, the last class we learned about the present continuous, but some of you didn't know some rules. Like for example, when you have consonant, vowel, consonant, what happens? So that's going to happen with the topic that we are going to learn today, okay? So first of all, I want to show you something. I want to show you something here. And this is a tongue twister. I'm going to send you this link because I like to use this link with my students because here you can practice the tongue twister. Remember that the use of tongue twisters are very, very important if you want to learn your vocabulary and your pronunciation, okay? So at the end of the class, just remind me, please, and I will send you this link. So here we have some tongue twisters. Like in here we have the pronunciation. A big black bug with a big black dog on his big black nose. So just take that in mind when you start your practice. It's very useful, and the students love this kind of games or activities. So my question for you is, are you good at tongue twisters? Are you good at tongue twisters in Spanish? Or not so good? Are you good at tongue twisters? Or
Trabalenguas?
yeah, exactly. And are you good at tongue twisters in Spanish? Or no?
No.
No.
And what about English? Well, because for example, in my case, I'm not good at Spanish, but I'm good at English. I don't know why, but maybe because I don't practice in Spanish and I have practiced a lot in English. Maybe that's the reason. But have you ever practiced tongue twisters in English?
No,
No.
really.
Never? Okay, that's good. Remember that the tongue twisters are very used because sometimes we say to our students, no, if you want to improve your vocabulary, if you want to learn English, you say, okay, watch movies, listen to English music or music in English, and learn the lyrics of that songs. But sometimes it's boring. I don't know. Maybe students feel bored when they try to do this. So because they have to learn all the lyrics of a song, so they don't take time for that. So they can use these tongue twisters. Entonces, al final de la clase, porfa, me acuerdan, yo les envío este link acá, que es muy útil. Yo la verdad lo utilizo con todos los chicos de todas las edades. Y la verdad que les gusta mucho estos tongue twisters. Sirve muchísimo, muchísimo para aprender vocabulario y para mejorar la pronunciación, vocalizar muchísimo mejor, que es lo que le falta a muchos estudiantes. Entonces, este link contiene varios tongue twisters y se escucha despacio y también pues rápido. We are going to listen to the first one.
A big black bug bit a big black dog on his big black nose. A big black bug bit a big black dog on his big black nose.
Look at this. A big black bug with a big black dog with a big black nose. Who wanna try it? Who of you wanna try it? A big black bug with a big black dog on his big black nose. Who wanna try it? Quiero intentar. Who wanna try it? A big black bug with a big black dog on his big black nose.
I can try, teacher.
Okay, Christian, do it. Let's do it.
A big black dog beat a big black dog and his big black nose.
Okay, that was good, but now try to do it quickly.
Oh, A big black book with a big black dog and his big black nose.
Hey, that was pretty good. Good, good. Another person. There's another person who want to try it.
I'm trying teacher.
Okay, Danila, let's do it.
Um, a big black bug, a big black bug on his big black nose.
That's good, but now quickly.
I'm sorry. Quickly. Okay. A big black bug, a big black dog on his big black nose. I'm sorry, but
Pretty good. You did it very, very good. I mean, yeah, it's just we have to practice, no? It's like in Spanish. For example, in Spanish, I don't know how to say los tres tristes tigres comían, tres tristes tigres comían tres tristes, tristes. I'm really bad at Spanish, but because I haven't practiced. It's just you have to practice, yeah. At the beginning, when I read the first time that I read this tongue twister, I was like a big black bug, but a big black. But maybe it's because I have taught this so many times. That's why I maybe right now I say it really quickly. You know, a big black bug with a big black dog on his big black nose. Just matter of practice. Okay. Remember that American people usually become the T in R when the next one is a vowel. They don't usually say bit a, they say bira. Yeah. Big black dog, bira, bit a big black dog on his big black nose. So I recommend you that one. I recommend you this. And here in this link that I'm going to send you at the end of the class, we have so many tongue twisters. Okay. Look at here. In this, okay, here we have 12, 13. Okay, let's get 13 tongue twisters. So some of them are really basic, but others are a little bit complicated. So you can try it. It's very, very good. And now what are we going to do now? Before I sign the topic that we are going to learn today, I recommend you this page, which is called a word wall. I use a lot this page. No matter if I do it with children or with teenagers or with adults, I like to use this one because you can find like different topics, but in a dynamic way. Yeah. For example, here we have the present continuous, and here we have like some different games, so you can use that one when you are in your practice. So siempre tengan en cuenta, digamos, como todas esas actividades cuando vayan a ir a la parte de práctica. Yo, sinceramente, muchas de las actividades que enseño ahorita en, el, digamos, en la UIS, bueno, aquí en la universidad, son cosas que tuve profesores que eran muy dinámicos en la universidad y entonces como que me acuerdo, no sé, voy a enseñar tal tema y me acuerdo, tal profesor nos hizo una actividad chévere en la universidad, ¿cuál era? Y empiezo como a acordarme, listo, entonces como que utilizo muchas actividades que ellos me enseñaron en la universidad, entonces siempre tengan en cuenta como todas estas actividades. Este word wall es muy utilizado para cualquier tema. So here we have, for example, some things about present continuous. With this part, like they are, of course, they're washing the car, for example, and you have like 10 questions. But the good thing about this is, well, for example, but I want to find another one, which is, oh, maybe this one. So her horse
Is jumping.
is jumping the fence. What does it mean of fence? What does it mean? So this
Barra.
is la cerca, yeah. Oh, well, in this case is yeah. So this is, I mean, the good thing about this, okay, in this case, the photographer,
Is taking.
yeah, is taking a photo of the baby. Remember to try to do a little emphasis in the T, no? So taking the baby, so is taking some, in this case, photos. So in this case, I recommend you this one. And you know what? Because it is like follow here. Here we have like, I don't know, what is that? I don't know. Well, you use this, and at the end, there is like a little test about the whole vocabulary that you use. Tiene como una secuencia, ¿sí? De todo el vocabulario visto. Al final, como tenemos que elegir como todo lo que estás, bueno, no sé, alguna de estas de acá, pero es muy bueno para que lo utilicen cuando estén por ahí en prácticas ustedes. That's very, very useful. Okay, so that's all. So now we are going to start with the topic of today, but no, not this one. Just give me 1 second. Okay, before starting, how did you ask me? tu mamá está planchando la ropa. How do you ask me that question? ¿Está tu mamá planchando la ropa? How do you ask me that question? How do you say planchar? It's the same that acero.
Iron.
Exactly, Christian.
Are
So,
you mom ironing the clothes?
question. Ask me the question.
Are you mother iron the clothes? I don't
But
know.
there is a little
Are
mistake.
you, are you mom ironing the clothes?
But in
Are
this
you
case,
mom ironing the clothes?
remember that it's is because we are talking about third person. Como estamos hablando de tercera persona, es is, no? So look at this. Is your mom,
Okay. Is your mother, I'm sorry, yes. Is your mother iron the clothes?
ironing, for example, to ropa, hair cloth? In this case, iron. Remember for Iron Man. Iron Man is not hombre planchador, no. Iron Man is hombre de acero, no? But it has two meanings. So is your mom ironing her clothes? Yes, she is. Oh, yes, she's ironing. Da, da, da. And negative, no, she's not. I mean, no, she's not ironing her clothes. How did you ask me? ¿Están tus papás? How do you say that? Like, tomando una caminata? No, that sounds weird in Spanish. ¿Cómo decimos eso como tomar una caminata? How do you say that in Spanish? Yeah, tomar una caminata. O pasear. I don't know. How do you say that? ¿Están tus papás paseando?
Are your parents walking, I don't know, around the park or I don't know.
Okay, I mean, walk, yeah, is good, caminar, but you can also say taking a walk. Taking a walk is like pasear o tomar una caminata, something like that. So just remember that are, well, in this case, I missed the R. So are your parents taking a walk? I don't know, right now, at the moment, at the park or whatever. So remember, yes, they are taking a walk, or just they are. That's the short answer. And no, they're not. Okay, that was the topic that we learned last class. That's easy. Now, the topic that we are going to learn now, I'm sure that maybe most of you don't know some rules that I'm going to teach you. And I say that is because I didn't learn those rules when I was at the university. I mean, I studied 5 years at the university and I didn't learn some things that I'm going to teach you right now, okay? Maybe you know, I mean, in general, about the things. And this is about the simple present. I know that maybe you know the simple present because we already know the present continuous, which is to talk about the things that we are doing at the moment. Yeah. But now we are going to talk about the simple present. Simple present is to talk about the things that we usually do, not at the moment, the things that I do in the morning, every day. But we are going to learn some exceptions that, as I said at the beginning, maybe, no, maybe, I'm sure that most of you don't know these roles. So yeah, remember the present continuous, that's pretty simple. And now remember, the simple, here we have the simple present. Maybe, as I said at the beginning, most of you know this. So the simple present, we only need the subject and a verb. Yo vivo, I live. Tú vives, you live. Nosotros vivimos, we live. When we talk about third person, we add an s to the verb. Yeah. So here we have a better table to explain this. I didn't like that one. So remember, this simple present. When we talk about third person, we add an s to the verb. Ella está bailando, present continuous. Ella baila, she dances. Ellos están corriendo, they're running. Ellos corren, they run. Nosotros estamos aprendiendo, we are learning, aprendiendo. Nosotros aprendemos todos los días, we learn every day. That's simple, right? Now, when we talk about the questions, we use do or does to explain that, yeah? If you want to say, tú vives en Vélez, you live in Vélez. But if you want to say, tú vives en Vélez, we add do you live in Vélez? Sí, recuerden que en español, en inglés, no está el signo de pregunta al principio, ¿no? Este do, si lo queremos decir así, podría ser como ese signo de arroba al final. So remember, we use do and does. Do, that's for third person. She, he, or it. Does the cat drink milk? Does Colombia have a good weather or whatever? Yeah, so we use do and does. So now you're going to ask me some questions according to that. So how do you ask me, roncas en las noches? How do you ask me that question? How do you ask me, ¿tú roncas en las noches? Roncar is snore. Okay, snore. So how do you ask me, ¿tú roncas en las noches?
Do you snore at night?
Okay, that's great. Como les dije, bueno, esos temas que vamos a ver, yo sé que hay muchos que lo saben, pero pues estoy seguro que hay unas excepciones que vamos a ver ahorita que yo que de pronto pocos la saben. So do you snore at nights? That's good. So when we talk about, if you want to say, tú vives, tú roncas, tú quieres, tú, that's simple present, so you use do. Ponen siempre eso, cuando estamos hablando de presente continuo es para decir ando, endo, estás viviendo, bailando, corriendo. Pero cuando estamos hablando del presente simple es para hablar de cosas que hacemos rutinariamente. Tú vives, tú corras, tú corres, tú caminas, ella vive, el verbo suena así. En este caso utilizamos do, does. So do you snore at night? So how do you answer the affirmative? I mean, the short and the long answer.
Yes, I do. Or
Yes, I am.
or
Yes, I do.
or
Yeah.
yes, I'm snore all night. Or I'm snore at night.
Yeah, that's good. So the short answer is yes, I do. The long answer, yes, I snore at night. But I mean, maybe you know that. That's simple. But the question for you is this correct? I do snore at nights. Is that right? What do you think about that? Oh, this is a mistake. What do you think about it? I mean, we should use do in this long answer or no? What do you think about that?
Teacher, how do you say como, ¿cómo digo?
Redundant.
Como relevante, como, no, relevante no es como, que es repetitivo, ¿no?
This do, I mean, so you are saying that in this case, we shouldn't use that. We shouldn't use. Okay, what about the rest?
Teacher, grammatically, I think it's not correct, but I have heard orally in many conversations, it's like a confirmation about what people are asking you. Do you snore at night? Yes, I do. Yeah, it's like a confirmation about the question, but grammatically, it's not, well, according to me, it's not correct, teacher.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's correct what Jorge just said. We should say, yes, I do. Or when we are going to talk about the long answer, we don't have to use do. But there are some cases where you're going to hear that some people say that do in long answer. For example, if you ask to, I don't know, American person, and you ask like, do you like soccer? And sometimes you're going to hear that they say, yeah, okay, yes, I do like soccer, or I do love soccer. So in those cases, that do is doing like an emphasis in the verb. It's like this really. They replace that really, but they do. But they do, you know, for example, I do love playing soccer. I do or like going to the gym. Yeah. Entonces, claro, normalmente, gramaticalmente, pues no está correcto, ¿no? Es yes I do, que este yes I do reemplaza pues lo que sea el resto de la oración. Podemos complementarlo, obviamente. A veces me dicen, profe, pero puedo decir yes I do y ya nada más. O pues sí, claro, lo podemos complementar también. Do you snore at night? I do. And I hate that. I don't know. And I hate that. Digamos, sí, ronco. Y lo odio, yo odio eso. ¿Eh? Lo que decía Jorge, gramaticalmente, pues no se debería ser así, pero es muy común también ver ese do en muchas ocasiones reemplazado por el, digamos, en vez de decir como really, cuando se quiere hacer énfasis en el verbo, ¿sí? No, normalmente casi no me gusta enseñarles, digamos, eso cuando estoy con los estudiantes, porque si no, se pegan de eso y empiezan a decir, yes, I do like, yes, I do work, porque es que eso se utiliza tal cual ves, solo tal cual ves cuando queremos hacer un énfasis en eso. Do you love cookies? I love cookies. I do love cookies. I do love hamburger. Es como para hacer una confirmación, para hacer como ese really, pero pues no es que se utilice todo el tiempo, es como para que lo tengan ustedes también en cuenta y esa pequeña cosa ahí para que lo tengan en cuenta. So now let's move on to the negatives. So here we have no, I don't, or I do not, or I don't. You know, that's a short answer. Or no, I don't. Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't snore at nights. I mean, this is the simple present. Yeah, this is the short way. This is the short way. And here we have the long answers. Okay. Eso es el presente simple prácticamente, formas cortas, formas largas. Now we are going to ask a question with third person. How do you ask me? Tu hija, well, I don't have a daughter, but let's suppose. Tu hija estudia en el colegio? I don't know. O tu hija estudia en las tardes, whatever. How do you ask me that question?
Does your daughter study in the school?
Okay, you can say at school.
At school?
Okay, that's good. So, okay, before that, we're going to use another verb. We're going to use another example because in the next part, I'm going to focus in the rules that we have for third person. So in this case, we are going to change for does, I don't know, does Shakira hate Piqué or something like that? I don't know. Shakira odia Piqué? Yes, she does. I mean, that's a short answer. Or you can say, yes, she hates Piqué, okay? Remember that when we talk about third person, we add an S to the verb. But it only happens when we are going to do affirmative sentences, okay? Recuerden lo que les había mostrado acá arriba, que cuando hablamos de terceras personas le ponemos una S al verbo, solo cuando hablamos de ella, él o esto. Pero eso solo pasa cuando estamos afirmando, cuando estamos preguntando y negando, el verbo va normal. Entonces, ok, give me one second. Entonces, digamos acá, vea, aquí estábamos afirmando, pero no le puse una S al verbo porque no estamos hablando de tercera persona. Aquí estamos afirmando y como estamos hablando de tercera persona, le ponemos una S. Aquí la forma corta es yes, she does. So that's the short answer. So the negative, no, she doesn't. The short answer, or no, she does love it. She doesn't hate Piqué. In this case, the verb goes normal because the does is like that S. Pregunta y negación va igual. If you want to ask me, for example, can I use that do in this case? Yeah, but of course it's going to be with does. She does love it. ¿Ya? Entonces, sí, claro, también podemos hacerlo acá en forma, en lo que les había dicho aquí el do, hacerlo con el does. She does love it. A ella le encanta. Pero no, pero refiriéndome a otra cabra. She does hate him. Ella lo odia. Recuerden que eso se puede utilizar en algunas ocasiones como para que lo tengan en cuenta, como decir, como realmente lo odia. ¿Sí? No sé si me va a entender. Did you understand all this part, or do you have any question in that? Just let me know. Is everything clear, or do you have any question?
No, teacher, don't questions.
Okay, that's great. Si alguien en algún momento tiene alguna pregunta o algo así, ya sabe que igual me la puede hacer. Intento ir un poco como más rápido porque sí con los estudiantes a veces cuando uno explica esto, claro, toca más desmenuzadito porque se demora un poco más, pero bueno, yo sé que en su caso la cogen un poco mejor. Okay, so that's good about that part. Now, here we have some exceptions, like in the present continuous, there are some exceptions. So my question for you is, what exceptions do you remember? What rules do you remember in this tense? What do you remember about some rules? Remember that, for example, in the present continuous, we have vowel, consonant, vowel. We double the last letter, running. But what happens in this simple present?
Teacher, the changes that we have to take in account, for example, in the third person, with the verb that finishes in the letters, for example, ch, sh, x, o, we have to add es in this verb. For example, wash, we say washes, watch, watches, fix, fixes. Mm, I don't remember more, but that's one of the principal rules that we have to take in account in a simple present, teacher.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the most important because it is very long. Yeah, that's one. That's the first one. Actually, there are two because the third one is not like, well, I'm going to teach you both, but what else do you remember? What else? What happens when the verb ends with y and the last one is a consonant? So here we have the rules. Wait a minute. Okay, here we have the rules in the simple present, okay? So the first one, as Jorge says, is exactly what he said. When the verb ends with ss, sh, ch, x, or o, we're not going to only add an s to the verb, but we are going to add es. Entonces, claro, recuerden que esas reglas solo aplican para terceras personas, él, ella o esto. Ya dijimos ahorita que cuando hablamos de tercera persona le ponemos una S al verbo cuando estamos afirmando. Yo trabajo, I work. Ella trabaja, she works. Joaquín juega, Joaquín plays. Listo. Pero cuando el verbo termina en SS, SH, CH, X u O, no solo le ponemos una S, sino una S. So in this case, I miss, he misses. I finish, he finishes. I watch, he watches. I mix, he mix. I go, he goes. He or she goes. I go to the gym, she goes to the gym. Okay, that's the first rule. The second one, when the verb ends with Y and the last one is a consonant, we have to delete the Y and change it for an I. So in this case, we add IES. So I study, he studies. Yo lloro, I cry. Él llora, he cries. But what happens here? When the verb ends with Y and the last one is a vowel, we don't delete the Y, we just add an S. Entonces, esas son prácticamente las reglas. Cuando el verbo termina en Y, la anterior es una consonante, reemplazamos la Y por una I latina, le ponemos IES, pero cuando el verbo termina en Y y la anterior es una vocal, tan solo le ponemos una S. ¿Ya? So in the case of, for example, if you want to say, ellos compran ropa, they buy clothes. They buy clothes. But if you want to say, Juana compra ropa, Juana buys clothes. Okay? Le ponemos una S al verbo normal. If you want to say, for example, I don't know, I cry at nights or whatever. Yo lloro en las noches. Ella llora en las noches. She cries at nights. In this case, we change this part. And if you want to say like, okay, there are two ways to say lavar los platos. There is another way to say lavar los platos. Do you know how to say that?
Washes. He washes.
Washes the dishes. But yeah, I mean, this is, you can say, if you want to say yo lavo los platos, you can say I wash the dishes. But have you ever heard another way to say that?
Sorry, teacher.
Do the dishes.
The dishes, exactly. So you can say I do the dishes. That's very common. I do, digamos, dos formas de decir lavo los platos, ¿no? I do the dishes, como decir yo hago los platos, pero quiere decir yo lavo los platos. And I wash the dishes, just to take that into account, okay? Entonces, estas tres son prácticamente las excepciones que acabamos de ver. Cuando el verbo, recuerden que eso solo aplica cuando estamos afirmando. If you want to ask, for example, does Daniela usually go to the gym? In the question, the verb goes normal. Yes, she usually goes
Go
to the
to
gym.
the gym.
And the negative, no, she doesn't go to the gym. The verb changes only in affirmative sentences. In question, it goes normal. So until the moment, do you have any question, any doubt? Just let me know. Okay, because there is another one. One thing happened with a verb that I haven't mentioned here. What happens with a verb? There's a verb that changes completely. Well, not completely, but it changes a little bit. Remember the verb have? What happens with have?
Have.
Papa has.
Yeah. Okay, have goes for I, they, but it's changed for has for third person. So I have pets. Yo tengo mascotas. Ella tiene mascotas. She has pets. Recuerden que en ese caso del have, sí cambia como que no sigue estas reglas, ¿no? Porque si siguiera de pronto un poco las reglas, sería como haves, pero en este caso have cambia a has. So that's pretty simple. That's the simple present. So there is another things that I gotta teach you before I continue this part. But we are going to do just a quick quiz about this. Not a quiz, but a little exercise.
Teacher,
Oh,
I I have a question. For example, have. HAD. What is the difference?
HAD,
Yes.
that's the past. If you want to say yo tenía, bueno, yo tenía o ella tenía una novia o lo que sea. I had a girlfriend. That's the past. Ese es el pasado. The have, it has.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Now we are going to do just a quick exercise here. Nos falta una cosita de este presente simple, que eso sí yo no lo aprendí en la universidad. Sí, eso lo aprendí, fue justamente después sí es vital. Pero antes de eso, before that we are going to do just a quick, you're going to tell me which verb of the we have in parentheses or in brackets is the correct one. So in this case, he
Has.
the symbol.
He has an apartment near here.
Okay, so you,
So you walk,
wait a minute.
Walk.
Okay, so you walk, exactly. Walk,
I don't walk to work.
Same.
if you want to sound a little bit better, remember that they don't say don't, but they say like, I don't. Ellos, para sonar un poco mejor, ellos normalmente este don't lo pronuncian como si fuera una R, como si iron, como si fuera el de planchar. Para decir, no, como que I don't know, sino I don't know. No me gusta, I don't like. No quiero, I don't
No,
want.
I don't like. I don't know. I don't like.
Yeah, pones aire para todo. So now the next one. Okay, in this case, I take, yeah. Okay, I walk and help me with this one. I'm looking for, okay, this one is
Have,
Has.
have,
have or has and why?
have.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. It's have. No, yes, it's have.
Has.
Because my husband and I is we.
Mhm.
So it's have.
If have, exactly. Yeah, because if you want to say only, if you talk about husband, is has, but we are talking, yeah, as Daniela says, my husband and I, so we talk about we. So the last one, this one, my husband doesn't work or works.
Works.
No, work,
Work.
work, because you put a das
Mhm.
and
Exactly.
when you put a das, you don't put the s in the final of.
Exactly, Daniela, that's exactly. Yeah, in this case, we are talking about negative sentences. Remember that we only add s when we are doing affirmative sentences, works. But when we talk about questions or negative, we say the verb goes normal, okay? Okay, that was pretty good. Now we are going to move on to the last part that's going to be very important. What happens when we have two verbs? For example, how do you say me gusta comer pizza? How do you say that?
I like eat
I
pizza.
like eat pizza. I like it.
But something is missing. Algo nos falta. Something is missing there.
I like to
Teniendo,
eat. I like to
Who
eat
or it is?
pizza.
Okay, what is the difference between saying I like eating pizza or I like to eat pizza? What's the difference? And why? But you tell me, Cream?
I think that doesn't difference because it's the same sentence.
Okay, what else?
Present, a present continuous. It's different.
Oh, well, kind of.